at 7 o'clock.
I have said exactly 7.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Everyone please stand for a prayer and salute to the flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Area statement publication.
Take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Council being held on this 13th day of March 2017 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law, 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Here.
Grillo?
Here.
Kilpatrick?
Here.
Lembo? Melendez?
Here.
Novak?
Here.
Okay. We have a proclamation tonight. It's Youth Art Month 2017 Borough of Saraville Proclamation. Whereas art education contributes powerful education benefits to all elementary, middle, and secondary students, including the following. Art education develops students' creative, problem-solving, and critical thinking abilities. Art education teaches sensitivity to beauty, order, and other expressive qualities. Art education gives students a deeper understanding of multicultural values and beliefs. Art education reinforces and brings to life what students learn in other subjects, and art education interrelates student learning in art production, art history, art criticism, and aesthetics. Whereas our national leaders have acknowledged the necessity of including arts experiences in all student education, therefore be it resolved, it is proclaimed that March be observed as Youth Art Month. All citizens are urged to take interest in and give full support to quality school art programs for children and youth. Now therefore, I, Dan Buchanan, Acting Council President of Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim March 2017 as Youth Art Month.
I move the mayor's proclamation be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next, order of business.
Under old business?
Yes, ma'am.
Ordinance number 351-17, public hearing, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 Administration to amend subsection 2-25 Community Development Block Grant Administrator of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville.
Open up to public. Any questions or comments concerning ordinance number 351-17? Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the public portion be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes?
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Melendez?
Yes.
Introduction of the following ordinance, ordinance number 353-17, an ordinance of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, New Jersey, amending Chapter 35 entitled Affordable Housing Ordinance and to implement the Saraville Borough Housing Plan Element and Fair Share Plan.
Mayor, I request that this be removed from the agenda.
Removed, tabled, pulled,
Tabled.
tabled. Is there a second? Second. Roll call.
I have a question before we
Discussion.
vote.
I'm sorry,
I have a
discussion?
question before we vote.
Sure, go ahead.
So,
There's no discussion on tabling, just matter of Robert's rules.
let's let the public know, we do have a court date for later this month. Will this affect our ability to meet that court date and potential settlement?
Sure will.
It will. And what are the possible ramifications of missing that court date?
I know that counsel for the special conference counsel here, Mr. Sachs is here. If, you know, Mr. Sachs would like to come up and go through that.
Didn't I just make a point that Robert's rules says no discussion on tabling?
This is not
Just
tabled.
for residents, this is regarding the affordable housing ordinance, and we're gonna have our attorney just discuss this ordinance in particular and answer the question, please.
Yeah, I think the question was, I think from Councilman Grillo and I think from Mr. DuPont, what are the ramifications of the court date if we're not in a position to address the ordinances at that particular time? There is a court date scheduled for March 29th in front of Judge Natali, who is the judge who's handling all the COA cases in Middlesex County. At that time, we were required to be in compliance with the settlement agreement, which required the ordinances to be at least adopted, subject, I guess, to some tweaking, but, you know, the ordinances at least that are in front of you this evening. So,
So we're gonna have to go back to Judge Natali, so that's, I
Correct.
think that's what the implications are.
the implication is we may have to ask for additional time. I mean, I think that's really where we're at this
Right.
particular point,
Thank
Mr.
you, Mr.
Council
Sacks.
President, Mr. DuPont. Thank you.
I need a roll call on the table.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
Absolutely not.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Ordinance 354-17.
Okay.
An ordinance of the Borough of Saraville, County, Middlesex, New Jersey, adding a new section to Chapter 26, Section 26-111, entitled Development Fee Ordinance of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville.
We're just going to sit here. I move that it be tabled.
There's a motion to table on the floor by Councilwoman Novak.
Second.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, I was just looking.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo, Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez,
Yes.
Ordinance 355-17.
an ordinance supplementing and amending Article 3 of Chapter 26, Land Development of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to permit affordable accessory apartments in the office services overlay zone.
I move that we table this ordinance
Second.
this time.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
No.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Just for everyone out there, these are all companion ordinances, so it's all together. Ordinance number 356-17.
An ordinance supplementing and amending Article 3 of Chapter 26, Land Development of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to permit inclusionary multi-family dwellings within the planned residential development district option.
Move that we table this ordinance.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes.
Grillo,
No.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
Don't forget the public portion.
So, before we proceed to the public portion, we'd have to pull number 89 from the consent agenda resolutions. Is there a motion to
So
pull?
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I'm gonna open up the public portion to consent agenda items only. This would be anything between consent agendas, items number 2017-075 and 088, and then 2017-090. Is there any questions on the consent agenda items? If none? I'll
Mayor, I
entertain a
move
motion.
the public portion be closed, the resolutions adopted on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Buchanan,
Yes?
Grillo,
Yes.
Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Melendez.
Yes.
I have nothing for exec.
I'm gonna, just one thing here on appointments. It's a housekeeping item that we haven't done from January 1, and I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Mary Novak as a council liaison to the Commission on Aging. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then there was another appointment early in end of January or beginning of February, for Kevin Delina in the Board of Health, and I'm making a motion that we appoint Julia Green to that position. It's a unexpired, one-year unexpired term, which expires in 2018.
Second.
Sorry, 2-year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? With that, I am going to open up the public portion. Oh, sorry. Can I have that back?
Gonna do the library board?
Oh, library board.
No, the library board.
We have open. Is there any comments or questions for the public portion? Anyone from the public like to speak? Go ahead. Come on up. State your name and address, please.
Julia Slokowski. I am homeless at the moment, living in my vehicle, because Marie Cook, who used to work for Section 8, took my Section 8 away from me 13 years ago. My husband passed away. I've been homeless since, trying to get a home. But because of my income, it's not enough. I need Section 8. She refuses to give it to me. This young lady that's here with me, she's taken me into her home for 2 weeks. She tried to get Section 8 from the same person. She refused her. She went to Oldbridge and got it, no problem. This woman needs to be handled because this is getting ridiculous. I am homeless. I was homeless with 3 children. Almost lost them. Had to go into a camping ground that you spend camp time in during the summertime. That's where I was living with these children until they got out of school.
Okay.
This is no way for anyone to have to live because she takes your Section 8 away when your husband dies, when she's supposed to give it to you instead.
I'm going to have our attorney speak.
Yeah, you know, ma'am, what I'll do is, while the meeting continues or progresses, you and I will chit-chat in the back, and then we can see what we can do. Okay? Thanks.
Any other comments, questions from the public? If none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move the public portion be closed.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Just take a few minutes so Mike can have a little
Yeah,
talk.
no, you can go start. I'm just getting the agenda for,
Okay.
so I can put it back.
Yeah, I will.
Look at me, I poured myself 2 glasses of water here.
You're thirsty.
I think what it was is Mike poured me one, and I started coughing, and I already had one poured. Thank you. You know what I don't do that.
Yeah, why is there so much on here, Terry?
People are just showing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to open up the agenda meeting with a salute to the flag. Would everyone please rise?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Statement of publication.
Take no Take notice that this agenda session meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 13th day of March 2017 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. Councilpersons Buchanan,
Here?
Grillo,
Here.
Kilpatrick,
Here.
Lembo, Melendez,
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Okay, just to go over for the residents that, I had a lot of new faces out there. The ordinances that were tabled in the last meeting, number 353, 354, 355, and 356, they were the affordable housing ordinances and rezoning certain areas of town. We tabled those ordinances, so at this time, we're not going to go forward with them on this agenda. There's some other discussions that need to be had. But at this point, we are not moving forward with those ordinances. They are tabled. In order for them to be taken off the table, the council person who brought them on table would have to reintroduce them and put them back on table for discussion. There'd be 2 readings again. So at this point, that's where we are with those 4 ordinances, in case that's what you're here for. If not, then we're going to have another public portion. You can come up and ask any questions that you have. Okay? So, under old business, everything is tabled, so we go to new business. And Administration and Finance, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, I move that the following minutes be received and filed. Board of Education minutes of February 21st.
Is there a second? 30 minutes. I'll second it.
I'm sorry, second.
Okay, next.
Okay. I need approval for the bingo and various raffle that are under Administration and Finance, Section B, 1 through 6. Anybody have any problem with any of them? Nope. Okey-dokey.
Next item.
Okay, an application was received for a person-to-person transfer from La Marina to Fernandez. Authorization, we need an authorization. Anybody have a problem with it? We all read that?
Anyone opposed? Next item.
Okay, tax appeals. This is just refer to Tax Council as listed on the agenda under D. There's 3 tax appeals.
Okay, so that's going to go over to
That's
tax.
Tax Council.
Next item.
Okay, notice of petition. This is just received and filed for the Public Service Electric and Gas for an approval of its energy efficient 2017 program and cost recovery. There will be a public hearing. The dates are posted on the bulletin board. Okay, also notice of retirement for Maria Esposito from Senior Account Clerk in the Finance effective March 31st. How long has she worked for us, Wayne?
Borough for 23 years. 23 years with the borough, and I believe she worked a few years with the Board of Education prior to that, so.
Well, I'd like to thank her for all of her years of service to this town. Other than that, Mayor, progress, we'll be introducing the budget tonight.
Planning and zoning, Councilwoman Novak, you're number 2 on that.
Absolutely. Oh, I got a lot to do. I move that the following minutes and report be received and filed. The planning board minutes of February 1st.
Is there a second?
Okay. Receive the following notices. Okay. These will also be received and filed from J.P. Morgan's Chase for an application from the planning board requesting preliminary and final site approval for the construction of a bank branch on 7 North Ernston Road. Then also from the Township of East Brunswick on amendments to their land use procedures, Charter 123, and their zoning ordinance, Charter 228.
Next item.
Okay, communication received from John H. Robinson concerning the BOA's COA obligation. And I would have to say, other than that, progress.
Thank you. Councilman Grillo.
Thank you, sir. I move that the following minutes and reports be received and filed. The Board of Health and County reports for the month of February 2nd, 2017.
Second.
There's a second. Next item.
The firefighter application of Ryan Powers, which was accepted by Engine Company Number 1 on January 23rd, 2017.
Any objection? Next item.
Notice of resignation of firefighter Connor Gianetto from President Park Fire Company. A request to travel received from the Melrose Hose and Chemical Company Number 1 to attend a parade in Keyport, New Jersey on March 25th, 2017.
Any objection? Next item.
Recommendation received from Sergeant Bartlinski for the installation of 2 handicap parking spots to be located at 211 Cliff Avenue and 112 Miller Avenue. Ordinance to be introduced.
Any objection?
A request received from Williams Transco Pipeline for a waiver of Borough Noise Ordinance 5-3.6B3 to begin work at 8 a.m. on Saturdays as opposed to 9 a.m. as required by ordinance.
Any objection?
A letter of resignation received from Kevin Delina for his appointment on the Board of Health. A request for a coin toss received from the Sayreville Athletic Association to be held on May 27th and 28th, 2017 at the intersection of Ernst and Washington Road from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Any objection? Next item.
And a notice received from the Borough of South River of their support of H.R. 814, urging legislative bodies to enact this legislation in support of all law enforcement officers, firefighters, and first responders.
It's received and filed.
That's all. Thank you.
Next, Public Works, Councilwoman Kilpatrick.
Thank you very much. I move the following minutes and department reports. Oh, I have none. No, I do. I'm sorry. We have Solid Waste Advisory Council from the minutes of December 13th, 2016. That should be,
Second.
there you go. And I only have one other thing. As everybody is aware, we are anticipating quite a snowstorm. We thought that spring was here, but Mother Nature has decided to give us one more chance at showing off what a great job our Public Works Department does. We are ready, we are geared up, our equipment is prepared, and our men will be coming in later this evening to make sure that we are ahead of the storm. As always, the Director of Public Works, though, did ask to make sure that you remove all vehicles from the roads if possible, so that way it will make our cleanup efforts easier and safer. Also, if you haven't received your Nixle alerts, please know that all garbage pickup is going to be pushed back according to what the timeline is now posted on our News Channel 12 and what Nixle had stated. And what?
Portable basketball nets.
Oh, yes, and for the kids out there and the parents, please, 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 one of our issues is that the portable basketball units that you usually have out on the streets, they are extremely dangerous, and our concern is with pushing snow, those can easily topple over. So please remove those now while you can, and just be safe. The governor has declared a state of emergency, correct?
That is correct.
So hopefully our roadways will be clearer than usual, and have a safe evening and enjoy the snow from inside.
And
That's
may
all.
I just say, our Public Works Director taught me something back in the 90s. He said, Mother Nature can teach us a lesson in humility anytime she wants to, and I think she's prepared to do that.
Absolutely, but I'm happy to say we're very prepared for one of the first times in many years with the amount of salt that we have, and hopefully with the men that come in. I just want everybody to be safe. So that's all. Thank you.
I'm just going to follow up on that real quick, because I've received some calls concerning our borough employees and so forth getting back and forth to work. Some towns, like South Amboy, the mayor had declared a state of emergency, closed the town, put a travel ban on. Before, I don't know, usually our mayor doesn't do that, but the governor issued a state of emergency, which then takes it out of Dan's hand and the mayor's hand, and now the person in charge of that is the chief to do that. So it would be on him at this point. But I would recommend that, people stay off the roads. It's first for safety, second for cleanup. It's just easier on everyone. Just stay in a couple hours if you can and let the storm go through. With that, I'm going to go to Recreation. Councilman Melendez.
Thank you, Mayor. No departmental reports this month. Item B, special event applications received from the Sayreville Police Auxiliary to conduct their annual carnival, Kennedy Park, April 27th to the 30th, 2017. Item 2, First Presbyterian Church to conduct their annual flea market on June 3rd, 2017 at the church parking lot.
Any objection?
Item C, a letter of resignation received from Bernadine Pachowski for her appointment on the Library Board of Trustees.
Anything else, Councilman?
Just really quick update on IT. 2 training sessions for police dispatchers held at the Tactical Public Safety to familiarize their personnel and operation of the new radio systems and dispatch console software. Fire chiefs were also provided a radio demonstration and worked with the vendor to set up appropriate radio configurations. Portable radios will begin to distribute to police and fire later in the month, and these will be able to work on the county system in case of a failure of the current radio system. Lastly, I mentioned that we're going to be airing, we did a pilot with the Board of Ed meetings the last meeting they had, and that worked well. So going forward, those meetings will be Sunday 9 p.m., Tuesday 11 p.m., Wednesday 12 p.m., and Friday 10 a.m., so 4 times a week. And with that, progress.
Thank you. Under my report, I don't have any committee reports. I just would like to make an appointment of Julia Green to the Library Board of Trustees for the unexpired term till 2020.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, Business Administrator's Report. Dan?
Thank you, Mayor. Authorization to fill a vacancy in the Finance Office due to retirement effective March 16th, 2017. The recommendation's in your packet.
Any objections? Next item.
Request to schedule an elected official training session as required by our joint insurance fund. I have 2 dates. I need consensus from all of you up here. April 11th, which is our council meeting that week at 6 p.m., or April 27th at 6 p.m. And I don't know if something else was scheduled on the 11th.
Yeah, I think we,
Was it a,
It was supposed to be Ted Peterson's,
yeah, but he hasn't gotten back to us.
Right.
right?
did get back to me, and he can't do it until sometime in May.
Okay.
Okay.
Find a time, schedule.
so I guess I have to schedule with everybody's preference either the 11th or the 27th at 6 p.m.
Our council meeting's on Thursday.
Tuesday.
Monday is a Monday. 27th should be a Monday.
No, it's a Thursday.
Is it really? Should be the 24th. Should be before the council meeting.
Yeah, 24th.
11th or 24th.
Makes no difference.
Looks good for me.
Makes no difference.
24th, they were, Mary was saying.
24th? Okay, we'll make it the
Make it
24th then.
Okay.
So Peterson is off for the
For the 11th.
For the
the
11th.
27th I had him. I thought that was the initial date. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
but
just wrong.
Oh, he's
He
off.
pushed that off. He wrote a letter saying that he's traveling, so he can't do it.
So we'll schedule it for April 24th. I'll send an email out to all of you to make sure that we're scheduled for the 24th
Next
at
item.
6
Thank
p.m.
you.
Authorization for Sayreville Police Auxiliary to use the borough's portable stage during their carnival from April 27th through the 30th.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to fill 2 vacancies in the municipal court effective April 3rd, 2017. Your sample resos are attached in the agenda.
Next item.
Authorization for borough architect to design plans and specifications for the replacement of non-compliant hood system at various borough facilities and to advertise for the receipt of those bids.
Okay, next item.
Authorization to fill a vacancy in the Department of Public Works resulting from a retirement effective March 28th, 2017.
Any objection?
Notice of borough's participation in the Wyland Foundational National Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation Project. And authorization for the borough attorney to negotiate an agreement with a commercial tenant to resolve water and sewer billing issues.
Any objections? Anything else?
That's it, Mayor.
Wayne?
Okay, first item I have is a transfer resolution. That'll be the last meeting for transfer resolutions for 2016.
Okay.
And the next item is the need for a bond ordinance for the rehabilitation of the Duhernal well fields. The Borough Engineer's Office has come up with a list of recommendations of which wells need redevelopment, which wells could use re-drilling, and also the placement of a better generator out there on a well fields for the heavy producing wells. I could have this prepared for introduction for the next meeting, and the following meeting will be the public hearing and adoption. I don't know where it stands, Jay, with the specifications.
It's actually, we've advertised for bids. I think April 4th is the bid date.
Okay, all right. So,
Does
So,
anybody have any questions? Okay.
okay, move ahead. That's all I have.
Jay?
Thank you, Mayor. One item, we're receiving bids next week for the replacement of a raw water line at the water treatment plant. We're asking if everything is in order, that we have a resolution awarding the contract at your next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything from Mike?
No report, Mayor.
Do we have anything for executive session? Do you
No,
need
sir.
to, nothing?
No.
Okay. I'd like to open up the public portion then, for questions or comments. Barbara?
Barbara Kilcummins, 22 Schmidt Street. First of all, I'm very happy to see that you tabled all the COA applications or whatever. Sayreville has more than met, I feel, our low-income and affordable housing. We're inundated with housing and what's planned. I mean, 2,000 homes on the point. Lemire isn't finished, still expanding. We have Brooklawn Gardens, whatever, Lakeview, all low income. Winding Woods is more than enough. I feel Sayreville has fulfilled their fair share of affordable housing in comparison to all the communities that are surrounding by us. We're turning Sayreville into, I just don't want to degrade any other community, but more of like a city-type community. What they should be looking for, to tell you the truth, Sarah and everyone else, is ratables. We need ratables in this community to help the taxpayers, not more housing. More housing, our infrastructure can't handle it. From police to water. Good thing we bought Duhernal. Our water supply, this past year, the water pressure went down. We can't supply with what we have in an adequate way. And now you're looking for more? And with the courts, apparently we don't hire the proper, I feel, representation to defend us in court. I mentioned that to Mr. Sack. He said, if not, it goes to Superior Court. Well, I think I just might drop a dime on a friend of mine in the Superior Court. But this is uncalled for this community. The taxpayers cannot afford this in this town. You have a tax increase coming from the county, the Board of Education, and what I could see just, sparingly is from the borough here. We can't afford it. The taxpayers cannot afford this in this community. I've seen it change over the years, and I'm sorry to say it hasn't been for the good. When I look at Sayreville, what it was and what it has expanded, it started out real good when Mr. Kaplan came in and started putting homes on an acre. That was great. Then he lowered in smaller and smaller pieces of property. Now the homes are on top of one another. And I was here when he came and wanted to put larger homes on smaller lots at Town Lake. It's uncalled for. And it's up to all of you to defend the people of Sayreville and what they want and what they need. It's wrong. Another thing that I've noticed on here is that a position is open and it's already appointed to and filled. And I mean, I don't know what the procedure is, but you just have a letter of resignation. Already we have somebody in there. You have, it says packets are in, recommendation in packet to fill a vacancy in finance, recommendation to fill in public works. We have an ordinance in this town that borough employees are to be considered first, or residents considered first.
Barbara, all of these positions, because we knew about them coming. First, they were posted internally to borough workers, and then we went out and not only we take borough residents, but volunteers first, because we have a resolution for that too. We really did follow this procedure. We were just aware that these vacancies were coming, so we started
Are
the
they
procedure.
listed in the newspaper to let people know who really need a job in Sayreville, that are residents of Sayreville? Lately, you've been hiring out of town. And I know of quite a few people that were hired from out of town. Not that I object to it, but I feel a lot of residents of this town, and there is an ordinance, need the jobs, and they should be considered. There should be a personnel procedure to follow on applications. List, do you have lists of people that are interested?
Yes.
We have applications on file.
Applications are on file in the clerk's office. Personnel, excuse me.
And,
Do they ever
if-
get a chance to interview any of them?
Oh, yes.
Or is this just
Absolutely.
all nepotism and
No.
put in, like I
Everybody-
just heard recently, one family must have 5 positions in this town, and you know who it is. I don't even have to say the name. And it's wrong. Totally wrong. And I hear it on the street. I don't need a job, my family doesn't need a job, my neighbors don't need a job. But you know, I just believe in what is right is right. And for this town to follow the proper procedure in putting people in positions.
Barbara, I feel the same way as you. It is, again, first it gets posted internally. If there's anybody that's already employee here that's interested in the transfer, those people are interviewed. And then personnel, we collect all of the applications. They go to the department heads, interviews are conducted, sometimes with just the department heads, sometimes with the business administrator and the supervisors. And after that, the recommendations are made, and they come up here. Unless there's nobody that applied that lives in town, we hire borough employees. I can't remember the last time we didn't hire a borough employee. I could be wrong, but I don't remember the last time that we have hired outside the town. And then if there's volunteers on the list and all else is equal, I mean, you have to be qualified for the job, we hire the volunteers first, and we've done that consistently.
Well, I just know of 2 individuals that have been on that list for a long time, was never even granted an interview, and it's very sad. And other people that I come in, and it's not just Public Works, it's other departments, whatever. So it just seems to be unfair to me. But
Barbara, if you
anyway,
have 2 people that you feel might need more help or things like that, I've been working with certain county agencies that maybe I can help improve their skills. Maybe they're not getting some interviews. So if you don't mind giving them their names or have them speak to me, be
Okay.
more than happy to help them. And maybe it's because of a skill level or something that we can help them
well,
with.
some
But the
don't
county,
have their special license for a
It's-
position on Public Works, but they could obtain it later, and I've seen that happen.
But the county, we've been working with the county of trying to improve people's skills, and there's money available for training. There's a place called the Workforce Investment Board, which I am on, which I've been trying to help people in Sayreville to make sure that they get some of this additional training to make them more valuable. So if you know of those
All right.
people, we are here to help them.
Okay.
And here to
I'll
make sure-
mention them to come see
Well,
you.
If you would do that, and then we
Yes.
can do that, okay? Thank you.
Another thing is, the last snowstorm we had, I happened to be going, it was on a Saturday, and it started snowing around noontime Saturday afternoon. It was heavy. We didn't even know if we were going to make it to the function. The function happened to be at Costa Verde's and celebrate someone's 90th birthday party, and I was surprised more people from South River who were elderly were there even before us. But going past the park and ride, here it was on the Saturday, there were the plows. I used to complain when they were plowing the senior building, and I know we have the Meals on Wheels from the county, but there they were doing the senior center, and none of the roads were plowed, and there they were, 2 big trucks cleaning out the park and ride on a Saturday afternoon, and the snow was coming down heavy. And I think there should be a procedure or whatever, but some of the people want their streets plowed before you do a park and ride and before you do a senior building over a weekend. I know you need Monday for where the county has the Wheels on Wheels. I'm aware of that. But when you start doing parking lots before streets or doing River Road, and right down somebody went, they're doing the River Road parking lot, and then the streets are done. So there has to be a list of doing it, and I think it should be, but not parking lots.
Barbara, there is a list, and whether you know it or not, that's done by an outside contractor,
This was not an outside contractor,
You
Mr.
said there were
Frankel.
2 large trucks.
This was a borough truck. Every
Oh.
one I mentioned to you there, I saw personally myself, and they were
Okay.
borough
I'm
vehicles.
just telling you that we have under contract the
I
park
know
and
that.
ride.
Oh, I
to
know.
an outside.
Well, it wasn't the outside contract doing park and ride.
And when you
It
say
was
the
a
snowstorm.
borough
when you- okay,
truck.
Okay, relax.
Let me just intervene here. If you can contact Bernie and just verify that it wasn't Borough Trucks and.
I don't even know what year you're talking about
Next
because
time I'll take a photograph
I don't
of
know
those
what year.
fancy cameras,
I
and I'll
don't know
prove
what
it to
year
you.
you were talking about, because we haven't had snow this
It
year.
was this year. It was
Year.
just it was the first week of January where we had that snowstorm on a Saturday. It started real heavy.
Okay.
Barbara, I just have to say, though, about the senior building, we always have to keep that open because that's
Because
our
it's
emergency
emergency
shelter.
shelter.
If we have a
Evacuation.
Power
evacuation,
outages.
we have to keep that one open. So that's why that parking lot's
But
always.
River Road Park for boating, that's not necessary. Park and ride on a Saturday. After you do all the roads, maybe Sunday night, they can get to it, but I believe the borough, the taxpayers deserve it first. Another thing, I was coming home from the airport, and this really upset me. There's a great, big, huge billboard on the turnpike. Club 35, Nude Dancers, Sayreville, New Jersey. My 10-year-old grandson says to me, "Grandma, you have nude dancers in your town?" What a terrible reflection on this community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Anyone else from the public who wishes to speak? If not,
I
entertain a
move the
motion.
public portion be closed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Please, everybody, travel home safety. Kevin, you just go to the building and stay there. Good night.